What's going on, everyone? How are you guys doing? It is April 26, 2021, and we are here for our Monday Night Raw post show. How are you guys doing? How was your night? And more importantly, what did you guys think about the show tonight? I'm having some technical difficulties. I don't understand why. I don't understand what's going on, but my OBS is not wanting to work properly. So that is why I'm a little delayed. I can't hear anything. I can't hear. anything that's going on other than my voice. So hopefully everything is playing fine. Hopefully everything is good. You guys will have to let me know down in the chat because I don't know what the hell the problem is. Reader says, is that your mic or your voice? What do you mean? What do you mean, is it my mic or my voice? The way that I sound like a little different? Post show thumbnail is amazing. Well, thank you. I couldn't pass on using that picture. Are you talking about the stinger thing? Vanch, how you doing, my friend? Elver says your voice sounds different. It's because I'm sick. I'm sick, man. I'm congested as hell still. Still congested. So, sounds like I'm talking with a blanket over my mic. It might just be my voice. I don't know. I'm assuming it's probably just my voice because I'm very congested still. I've been coughing all day. My head is killing me. But other than that, I mean, here, actually, I can turn on the thing. Hold on, let me see. I can make it louder. Does that sound better? Okay, I feel like this sounds a little bit better. You'll have to let me know. I turned it up a little bit. Vance says, why no 1080p? It's probably because, man, that sounds like shit. I'm not gonna lie. That's peaking on mine. Okay, there we go. No 1080p. Okay, so what had happened was on Sunday I was trying to clean up my computer because I have a ton of shit on it. So I was going through some files and I accidentally deleted one that I probably shouldn't have. And what had happened was it deleted my entire OBS settings. So if you weren't here for the Sunday Rebellion show, I guess you don't know that. I had to recreate the entire stream last night. During Rebellion, I had to put all the assets back in there, do all that stuff, and set up all the settings. I goofed, and it ruined, everything. All my settings for everything are literally gone. So I didn't know about the 1080p, so I have to go back and change that. It's probably stuck at, 720. But yeah, okay, so I was booting up the stream. Mic not working. Not quite sure why. It was working completely fine yesterday. Not today. Vance says the cough has made your voice a little bulkier. Actually what may have happened as well is that my mic settings. Yeah, okay. Yep, here's the problem. My mic settings were completely erased. Son of a bitch. That is why. Usually I have the equalizer adjusted, but they're all at 0. So this is unfiltered. That's probably why. I added a lot of treble to my voice in the equalizer because it's naturally pretty deep as well, and then the Shure SM7B is pretty deep as well for the lows. So yeah. I'll have to play with that. I didn't even think about it. I wonder if it was yesterday. I don't know. That's kind of weird. So he says unfiltered AOW. That's right. We are going unfiltered. I'm sorry. I'm munching down like a bunch of cough drops and stuff because I'm still dying. I feel better. I'm tired as hell. I'm always gassed. Yeah, I'm stupid congested. I can't stop coughing. So I'm sucking down a bunch of cough drops. I got a little bit of the bubbly here with me. So we're going to hang out, chill, have a good time, and talk about some news, talk about Monday Night Raw. Unfortunately, man, that show was the drizzling shits. Delay says AOW Uncensored 98. Yes, there we go. But he says, I don't think Raw will ever be good. I'm losing faith, man. I'm losing faith. Vance says, okay, now I want to tell you something. Since SmackDown, it was a great show. Just remove the women's tag team stuff, and the whole show was great. I heard that it was great. I saw a couple people say that it was good. I'm still not gonna go back and watch it, but naturally, of course, I'm not surprised that a show that I don't watch is actually pretty good. Maybe it's just me doing you guys a disservice by tuning in. Maybe I just need to stop watching so the shows will actually get good again or something like that. It's crazy, man. Crazy. Uh Reader says, let's just skip Raw because now we have to deal with the reality that AEW may be moving nights because of the NHL. I heard about that. I don't know about that. That would be, man. Could you imagine if all of this stuff does end up happening about the NHL? I saw that they're probably going to land on TBS, is what I saw. But if it's true that they actually end up on TNT on Wednesdays, the whole thing about NXT moving days was because the NHL was going to be on USA during NXT. And NHL has a higher demo rating than NXT. So naturally, NHL wins. So naturally, NXT moves to Tuesdays. Now, if we're at this spot where maybe NHL is going to be on TNT, they're going to have a higher. Well, actually, this is maybe not true. I don't know what the NHL demos are, but the demos for AEW are pretty strong. Pretty strong. So maybe there's an argument to be made there. But I don't know. If AEW's demo rating is higher, then I can't see them move nights. But all of that aside, all of the logic just thrown out of the window, how crazy would it be if both shows ended up on Tuesdays? Actually, they couldn't. They couldn't end up on Tuesdays because Dark's on Tuesdays. I guess they could always change that to Thursday or something. Or even Wednesday on YouTube. But, man, I'd be so pissed. I would be so pissed. Trevin says, Raw didn't make me as depressed as usual, but it was still garbage. Yeah, I mean, I was just working the entire time. I wasn't really... I tuned out long ago. JBOJ says, you should give yourself a break from Raw. It just ain't the same no more. I know. I wanna change things up. I do. I'm not sure what it is. I think I'll have to wait until I feel better, I think, before I want to do it. But like I said, I want to start getting into gaming a lot more. And I think something that might be a little bit interesting or something a little bit different that we could do, or I could do at least, is maybe do a watch along, a Raw / game watch along. It would be on my gaming channel, and essentially I would probably just play some sort of game, or even you guys could play some sort of game with me. I don't care. If we're playing a multiplayer game, we could play games and just kind of have Raw on in the background, and if something happens, we can discuss it and talk about it. And then just play for a couple hours. And then just have the Tuesday night post shows for NXT, Wednesday night for Dynamite, day off on Thursday, and then maybe do the same thing for SmackDown, or maybe just continue watching SmackDown. I don't know. We'll see. I've also just considered doing Raw videos, like not watching them. So something that I could do as well is not watch Raw live, not cover it live, and just wait until it's on my DVR, and then I can just skim through it, watch it, and give my opinions in a video that's like 5 or 10 minutes long. That's possible as well. It's something I've considered doing. But yeah, man, this show, it's brutal, and a lot of the times, like, I like to just sit and have fun and poke fun at the shows, but man, like, even at that, it's getting brutal. It's getting really hard. Like, it sucks. It sucks so bad. WWE Emoji says, did Lily make you flinch? No. Not. I tuned out completely, dude. Tuned out completely. I do not care about Alexa Bliss and her Uncrustable. I want nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. Van says, and I don't know if you guys talked about it, but did you see Impact teasing Samoa Joe, Andrade, etc.? Yeah, they do that all the time. They do that all the time. They did that last year for Slammiversary as well. They teased everyone that got released because it was like, I think it was like perfect timing. from the people that got released to Slammiversary. So they did it last year. I don't know. Maybe they'll get Samoa Joe or something like that. Maybe they'll get Andrade. I don't know. Corey says, how about Mondays review Elevation, Tuesday NXT, Wednesday AEW, Thursday break, Friday SmackDown. So the thing with Elevation is that it's on so early. It's really inconvenient. It's on at 4:00 for me. And I'm not ready to watch wrestling and cover wrestling at 4. So, I mean, I guess I could start it later. I could just start it at 5 instead and watch it from there. I think you can do that on YouTube. That's a possibility. But the thing about it is that just the matches are so fast. So by the time you like take your screenshot, edit your screenshot, get it out, that there's something else going on. So the first time I watched Elevation on its debut night, I was still making dinner for us. I make us dinner almost every night except for, when I was sick. So I'm like trying to cook, but I'm like trying to watch a TV show, but then I'm like also trying to write these captions and keep up with everything and like figure out who these people are that I don't know who they are so I can put their names in there. So I don't know. It's something to consider for sure. I do want to try to change things up though a little bit. I'm just not quite sure what that looks like. I might try a bunch of different things and see what works and what doesn't. And I think that maybe live streams could be more special. We could reserve them for Tuesdays for NXT and Dynamite, and then what I still want to do, just like those hangout streams on like Sundays. Like a Sunday Q&A, like we just hang out, do something, whatever, play a wrestling game, I don't know, whatever it is, just kind of hanging out. Chloe says, I rewatched the Mortal Kombat movie instead of watching Raw, and I don't regret it. Oh, how was it? I want to see that. I want to watch it really bad. Maybe if I have time tomorrow or something, I'll be able to put it on. I really want to see that. And I need to watch Godzilla vs. King Kong before it's gone as well, because I think they're only on there for like 30 days. Van says, dude, you were lucky. Imagine waking up at 3:30 to watch Elevation. Oh. I mean, for me, I would actually almost prefer that. Because I'm up really, really late. 3:30 is a little bit of a stretch. I'm usually like trying to go to bed at like 3-ish or so. But I would much prefer watching wrestling later in the day. Like, I kind of wish that I was on the East Coast now, because watching Raw at 8, I wouldn't mind it. It would be so much better. My day would be winding down. Dinner would be done. Like, all my work would be done, and I could just hang out and chill. As of now, like at this point, it's on at 5, so I still have a ton of other things to do. Chloe says the movie was good, but I wouldn't set high expectations for it because the trailer spoiled most of the movie for me. Fair enough. I'm not a huge Mortal Kombat person, so I'm not very, very familiar with all the characters, and stuff like that. Like the last Mortal Kombat game I played was probably the one for Super Nintendo, like way back in the day. So I'm not too hyped up about like the lore and the characters and stuff. So, but overall, I think everything looked incredible from what I saw in the trailer. WWE Emoji says, in my opinion, I think Alexa Bliss is killing it. I just want to see her in the ring, though. I don't think that Alexa Bliss is bad. I think that she's doing great with what she's doing. But for me, I don't like the story. I don't like where it's. I don't like how there is no story. Essentially, I mean, like there's nothing going on. It's weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of literally nothing happening. And it's so frustrating watching it, where they need to progress these things. Each week needs to be important. And it's not. It's literally just a waste of people's time every single time. They just had to show like some weird calming thing and just have this Uncrustable pop up screaming. Like, really? That was like the cool thing to do in like 2003 when I was a child. Like, that was what was happening on the internet and stuff like that. So like, it's just not for me. Like, it's not working. People like, I don't know why people get so defensive over The Fiend and Alexa Bliss. Like, I get it. They're good characters, right? And you could be invested. I'm like one of the most diehard Fiend fans in existence. The guy's dead. The Fiend is over. There's nothing going on. He had one segment after WrestleMania. He didn't even explain anything. Nothing even happened in the Firefly Funhouse episode. Now we have Alexa's Playground. We've had one every single week. And nothing has really happened. The only things that have happened is that Alexa Bliss said she found something very dark while the Fiend was gone, which turned out to be Lily. Then, the next week, she completely contradicted what she said and said that Lily has been a part of her life since the beginning, since she was a child. They showed tons of pictures of Alexa Bliss as a child with Lily photoshopped in them. What's the story? That's the week-to-week story? That's something that you waited 7 days to see? Them just completely contradict what they had said before? Like, come on, man. Like, I want to see something come from it too. Like, trust me, I do. Fiend is probably one of my favorite characters that they've had in WWE for a long time. I hold Bray Wyatt very high in regards of what he's able to do creatively. And they just haven't done it. They just haven't done it. I've given up hope. We're like 7 months into this. If other people want to like remain on the train and like hope that something good's gonna come from this, that's cool. Like, they can do it, but I'm certainly not. I'm not willing to wait another 4 months for Alexa Bliss to fight the Fiend and then for her to like defeat the Fiend and then like unleash her darkness and become the goddess again or something like that. Like, it's just crazy. Did I see the Meltzer and Charlotte thing? I do believe so. Yeah. About Andrade like saying something to him and then him just saying that he didn't say whatever or something like that. That's what we're talking, or that's what you're talking about, I would assume. Chloe says they only show the only good parts of the movie. Scorpion only showed up for like 5 minutes and dipped. Weird. Trevin says Bray Wyatt being underutilized and buried just really crushes my soul. And it's like story of his life, you know? It seems like that's the story of Bray Wyatt. Have something amazing. Doesn't click with Vince or whoever. And that's a wrap. That's a wrap. That's what it seems like for Bray Wyatt. I will always believe that The Fiend could have been a legendary character in WWE had he been booked right. He could have been the next Undertaker type of character to last for years and years and years. Or he could have just had a short, very important run in the company where The Fiend, you know, I guess it depends on how you want to book it, but the Fiend could have had a short, very meaningful run. The Fiend could have a beginning and an end. There's a reason why the Fiend's here. Once the Fiend accomplishes what the Fiend needs to do, he's gone. And Bray Wyatt is back. You could have totally done that. Or the Fiend could have just lived on and on and on as a character. But the way that he's booked now, no one cares. I think the Fiend will always be an attraction because the Fiend just looks badass. He looks cool. But aside from that, I'd like, who's excited? Like, who's looking to see what's next for the Fiend? I think anyone cares. And it sucks. It sucks a lot. Such a unique concept, such a cool way to do everything, and just flushed right down the toilet. Van says, how many times I have to tell this? The Fiend needs to go to New Japan. That'd be so crazy. The Fiend in New Japan. Van says, do you have Amazon Prime? Yes. Yes, sir. I do have Amazon Prime. Obi James says, Adam from Parts Unknown booked the Fiend like a creepypasta. Yes. So I saw that. I watched that video. It was great. And essentially, his story was just like what I said. The Fiend has a beginning and an end. And in his booking, the Fiend had a certain amount of things that the Fiend set out to accomplish. And I believe the last thing that the Fiend needed to do in the Adam Blampede booking, is that it was to take out Vince McMahon. I believe, if I remember correctly. And so once he did that, there was no reason to be the Fiend, and it was over. So it was really cool, and I think that certainly could have worked, but I also think that we're past that point. Elver says Booker T said that the Fiend's career shouldn't be based on wins and losses. I think he's right, but the truth is people will always judge WWE for whatever they have Bray lose. So I can agree. That I could look past the wins and losses for the Fiend if the story was important and the story was there. But it's not. The Fiend lost. Okay. The Fiend was burned alive, dead, gone for 3 months. I said the whole entire time that I thought it was really cool. It's a really cool way for him to exit. It's a cool way to further the Alexa stuff, right? It's good. It's interesting. And I've always connected the Fiend to Jason. Always. And like I say, Jason goes on a run the entire movie. He's not able to win. So at the end of the movie, he gets killed by one of the people that he's attacking. The Fiend thing fits perfectly fine. Although, you guessed it, Jason doesn't die, so neither does the Fiend. So the Fiend returns at WrestleMania in this huge thing where everyone's like, yes, okay, here we go, right? The Fiend's back. Looks like he's got a new mask. Looks more Death in the Family Jokerish. It's cleaner. Everything's looking good. We're excited. He has this crazy entrance. And then Alexa Bliss is just bleeding black goo from her head. And it distracts the Fiend. The Fiend gets RKO'd and loses. So, like, if the story followed and the story was important, I could totally get behind it. But there isn't one. Is what I've always been trying to say. Like, there is literally nothing going on, and we shouldn't have to wait a month to hear a peep out of what happened for WrestleMania, other than the obvious fact that Alexa Bliss turned on Bray Wyatt. That's what I find extremely frustrating about all of it. It just doesn't make any sense. If you want to tell a story, tell a story. We want to see it. Of course we want to see it. But they're not. Vance says, watch a series, Invincible. It's a comic book series, which is really amazing. KSI recommends it. I'm so behind in stuff. I need to watch a lot of things. Which it probably doesn't help that I'm currently rewatching How I Met Your Mother for some reason. I just had the urge to rewatch it. So I've just been sick just watching it. Anthony says, even Undertaker said good things about The Fiend. It's good. Like, The Fiend was so good from inception, but I think we're at a part where he just can't recover. Delay says The Fiend hasn't recovered since the Hell in a Cell match. Yep. There's so many wrong turns, man. So many wrong turns for The Fiend. And I think that, like, I just don't know where you go from here. I don't know what to do. I don't know how you book something out of the grave like that. I mean, sure, I guess all it takes is one thing, right? For everyone to change their mind, all it takes is that one thing. I don't know what it is. It's certainly not a magical match between Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss. That's for sure. So, I don't know. Reader said, you watch it in Invisible? I've never even heard of it. I haven't heard of it until just now. Vance says, hey, they didn't show AJ Styles for the third time. Yeah, I think something's going on with AJ Styles or Omos. I would assume that one of them maybe got COVID or something. That would be my guess. I don't know, though. I haven't seen anything. But that's what I would imagine. WWE is pretty secretive about all that stuff going down, so I wouldn't imagine. I can't imagine that that's the case, and they're just not mentioning it whatsoever. Because what other reason would they have to not mention the new tag team champions for 3 weeks now? 3 weeks. Rita says, I love the Fiend's first attire at the SummerSlam. Yeah, against Bray Wyatt. That was great. That was great. And it was like, holy shit, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. And now it's just like, oh, it's the Fiend. How are they gonna bury the Fiend today? What's the worst outcome I can possibly look for this event? Elvis says, I'm upset that they split Bliss and Wyatt too early. They should have kept them together for a while longer. Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't add up. None of it adds up to me. And, I think that they could have told that story that they did at WrestleMania with the Fiend still taking the W. Now, I don't know if that would have changed anything because, where is he? He's not doing anything. So I guess at the end of the day, I guess it really doesn't matter because he's not even on TV. But they certainly could have had the Fiend beat Randy Orton, and then he could have just been in her trance, and they could have had him be like scared of it or something, or shocked, so that you knew that turn happened. There's a million different ways that you could do it. Look at them. It's magical. Like, it's got hokey shit written all over it. So you can do whatever it is you want. Look at the way they changed the Universal Championship from red to blue. Just magic. Bloop. Right on an episode of Firefly Funhouse. It was perfect. That stuff fits. So they could do it in the story for that. They didn't have to have the Fiend take an L to one RKO after coming back from being burned alive. And let's not forget, we got to get off of this after this. Let's not forget that Randy Orton was the heel in that storyline, and the Fiend and Alexa Bliss were the baby faces. So, Randy Orton, heel, sets a good guy on fire. Good guy comes back for redemption. Good guy's girlfriend screws him, and heel guy beats him. Oh my God. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. Ryan says Adnan Virk is by far the worst commentator. Yeah, a lot of people aren't into Adnan Virk. I get it. I feel for him because I know that something like that has got to be extremely difficult. So I think it'll take a while for him to get into the swing of things. But my complaint is that he sounds very robotic. If you weren't here for Sunday, this is essentially what I was talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monday Night Raw. I'm Adnan Virk. I'm essentially a boring, emotionless robot. And welcome to the circus show here. We have all the shit that you watched last week. Well, guess what? We're going to run it back once again tonight. But things are going to be a little bit different. It's not just going to be T-Bar and Mace taking on Drew McIntyre in a handicap match. No, my friend. It's going to be T-Bar and Mace taking on Braun Strowman in a handicap match, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. That is your #MustBeMonday content. Welcome to the critically acclaimed Thunderdome as well. That's Adnan Virk. Just boring as hell robot with no emotion behind it whatsoever. I don't get it. Jaxson says you sound a lot different. It's because I'm congested, and because my mic settings are apparently different. You got reset. This is what my voice sounds like without an equalizer connected to it. So then I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it because it's gonna be weird as hell probably. But yeah, this is me. WWE Emoji says, I think WWE needs to hire young and better writers that are actually creative who can put entertaining. I would think so. You would think so at least, right? Like, apparently they don't care though, because somehow the company that is designed around making TV shows makes a shit ton of money despite their TV shows being garbage. I don't understand how they do it. I'm certainly impressed, to say the least. That they do a fantastic job at making money. I like I said, I don't know how you could have such a terrible product but still make a ton of money around it. Shout out to them for that. But man, you would think that they'd want to focus on their creative, because if their shows were actually must-see TV and they were very good to watch, you would think that their viewership would go up. You would think their merch sales would go up. Their YouTube views would go up. Every single thing would just go up. Money included. I don't get it. WWE should hire Tony Khan as a writer. Do you know how funny that'd be? If they had like Tony Khan as a ghost booker. Ghost booker from Monday Night Raw. That'd be hilarious. Leroy says the only positive that came out of tonight was the birth of RK Bro. Yeah, I hope that RK Bro can survive. I like RK Bro myself. I like him. Time Lord says, would you consider this Raw possibly the worst one in 2021 so far? I don't know, man. I feel like every single one I watch is the worst one, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know. I feel like every single week I watch the worst episode that I possibly could. So, I don't know, though. I'm sure there are worse ones out there, but I don't know. Vance says, tell me something. How are you expecting a full 3-hour entertainment with a guy who loves Oreos with squirt cheese? Bro, that is the sickest shit I have ever heard in my entire life, by the way. Vince McMahon likes Oreos with canned cheese on top of them. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I don't know. Maybe we're all missing out on something. I don't know, man. Delay says off topic and old news, but Chris Weidman really hit that stanky leg. Ooh, yeah, man. Poor Chris Weidman, man. Shout out to him. Hopefully he's doing better. That was brutal. BZ says, I hope next draft Bray goes to SmackDown. I personally feel he's a SmackDown superstar. He should go to SmackDown because what he's doing right now ain't that great. What he's been doing this entire time hasn't been that great. Honestly. JBO says, who do you think will win Money in the Bank this year? Hopefully Cesaro. You know, my picks, I had Cesaro and Peyton Royce. But that second one obviously isn't going to happen. So I'm not sure who for the women's right now, but Cesaro for the men's for me. Trevin says WrestleMania Backlash should just be Backlash. I'm not even sure we're having rematches anymore. Seems like we're having at least kind of one, Drew and Bobby Lashley. I don't get the whole adding WrestleMania to the title of Backlash. I feel like that devalues your WrestleMania brand. WrestleMania is supposed to be one time a year. Well, in the special instances, 2 times a year. And it's supposed to be like your biggest event ever. So tacking it on to Backlash just doesn't really make any sense to me whatsoever. Anthony says, what if The Fiend goes to NXT? The Fiend should go to NXT, and he should find friends in Tian Shaw, Boa, and Xylee. What a stable. There you go, right there. The Fiend is fixed. Vance says AJ and Carlito could be a perfect tag team, but where the hell is Cesaro? Let's see here. Kenny says SmackDown should be the only show. I like NXT as well. I like NXT. And Adam Cole is returning for NXT. No, I'm not reading your comment because I'm not an idiot. Really? Do you think I'm that stupid? I'm not. Come on. You got to do better, Jaxson. Got to do better, man. Vance says, look, you want a good Money in the Bank pay-per-view? You don't watch it, and it'll be a perfect pay-per-view. Pretty much, man. Pretty much. That is how it goes. Like, I'm telling you, I think maybe I am the one holding back WWE with my luck. My bad luck, man. I always say, like, the reason why I watch them is because I know that the week I don't watch it, it's going to be good. I get really sick. I don't watch SmackDown, and everyone says it's the best SmackDown ever. Like, God damn it. It was worth a try? No, it was not worth a try. It was childish and stupid. And, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that. Not even funny. Dumb. WWE Emoji says, how about Sonya Deville for Money in the Bank? Yeah, I'm not quite sure what they're even going to do with Sonya Deville. It was weird to see her on Raw today. It's weird seeing her kind of align herself in a way with Charlotte Flair. I don't understand. We haven't even seen her on Raw this entire time. And it's kind of weird that WWE brought Charlotte Flair back only to have her suspended indefinitely and fined $100,000, only to be right back on the show the next week. I don't know. Vance says AJ and Carlito would be a perfect tag team, but where the hell is Carlito? I saw that Carlito's on a card, some weird card. The main event is Jerry the King Lawler versus Big Cass. Thought that was weird. Sean Rossat posted it. Knowledge says every time I see that pic of John Morrison on the screen, I get mad because he's so annoying to think this guy used to be a main eventer in Impact and now he's a clown and a sidekick. Yeah, but he's getting paid. Right? Guess that's all that matters, right? The paycheck. The hey, hey, ho, ho, and the money getting deposited right into the bank account. Vance says, did you see Renee's tweet about Jon Moxley? I did not. And he says, where did Charlotte Flair get $100,000? Cameron Grimes. I don't know, but you know what? Charlotte Flair should have donated that $100,000 in a super chat so that we could have been one step closer to having AOW Underground get off of the ground, if you will. We need $69 million US, and that 100,000 would have put a nice little dent in it. Nice little dent. Trevor says my Money in the Bank picks for the man are Cesaro or Big E. Maybe the Fiend. I also have a strange feeling Edge returns and wins it. Edge winning Money in the Bank. I could definitely see WWE doing that. The Fiend, no way. No way. The Fiend should never win Money in the Bank. The Fiend shouldn't even be in a Money in the Bank match, if you ask me. Like, I hated the Fiend pointing at the WrestleMania sign so much. Like, it takes so much away from his character to do that, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Anthony says, hear me out, AOW Underground 2K. There we go. Jaxson says, I might donate. You should. You should donate to the cause for AOW Underground. And for trying to get me canceled out here, Jaxson. Okay? Trying to get me canceled. BZ says, do you think the draft should be all the way in October or like in the middle of the year? I think that they should, right now, they should do it as soon as possible. Because I don't think things are clicking at all. A lot of the matches and feuds are the same ones that we've been seeing for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And I think it's time to freshen it up. The WrestleMania has happened. There should be some sort of shakeup at least. Like, you could change the shows drastically with just 4 or 5 people moving between them. You don't have to do the entire brands as a wipe. Just move over 5 people from Raw, go to SmackDown, 5 people from SmackDown, go to Raw. That easy. I think it would help a lot. Okay. But let's get into this a little bit because I still want to keep these around an hour. And we're already at 45 minutes because I talked about the Fiend for 25 minutes. But that's okay. Okay. Anyways, so tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw kicked off with Mace and T-Bar taking on Braun Strowman. Turns out Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre couldn't even coexist in Gorilla. So Braun Strowman says, you know what, bruh? I'm going to come out here and I'm going to do what you couldn't do last week. And I'm going to beat these 2 clowns by myself. Okay. Fair enough. So at this very moment, it was like, okay. They're just going to run back exactly the same thing that happened last week. But this time, it will be Braun Strowman instead of Drew McIntyre. And guess what? They did the exact same thing. T-Bar and Mace were stomping a mud hole in Braun Strowman's ass, and they got themselves disqualified. So, of course, naturally, Drew McIntyre comes out here to prove that Braun Strowman did, in fact, need him to go to commercial. They return, and guess what? Tag team match is on just like last week, baby. Just like last week. You love to recycle content. It's so great. It's so great. So then, this one I actually was not expecting to see because last week the match ended in a disqualification. Again, 2 disqualifications back to back. So I was like, man, here we go. You know what actually ended up happening? A count out. T-Bar and Mace defeat Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman. Why? Drew McIntyre, former WWE champion. This man is supposed to be in a WWE championship match. Man, when is WrestleMania Backlash? I don't know. Sometime soon, within the next couple of weeks, I would imagine. Supposed to be in a WWE championship match. And this is what they're doing with him. Losing to T-Bar and Mace. Sure, it's a count out. Oh, it's May 16th. So it's actually still a little ways away. Okay. I dig that. But yeah, I don't know, man. This is not how I would book someone who might even become WWE champion once again at Backlash. You know, maybe they'll have Drew McIntyre beat Braun Strowman or something so that Bobby Lashley is still strong. You know what I mean? Van says, check Renee's 10th tweet. Not in tweets and replies. Okay. Okay. Renee Paquette. 10th tweet. Okay. Got the dog butt as the header. Okay, I see. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. She says, this is from Renee Paquette's Twitter. She says, I asked John if he wanted me to make fajitas for dinner. He said no, swiftly and confidently. So I just made some straight up baked chicken, and now he's eating in out of a damn tortilla. Shake my damn head. So he's pretty much having a fajita. That's actually kind of funny. So he says, eating cinnamon rolls and watching a post show. Life is good. I want some cinnamon rolls, man. Damn. That sounds amazing. Amazing. I haven't had a cinnamon roll in like years. Elver says, imagine Braun coming out in the Thomas the Train costume. Oh, man. Yeah, I need to get Delight says no train noises. I need to get a Mr. Choo Choo noise here. We need to get like a choo choo. Something like that. Maybe even just like a train rolling through. Yeah. Need to get one of those. Need to get one of those for sure. So yeah, T-Bar and Mace win. Who cares, right? Next up, we had ourselves an episode of Miz TV here with, of course, special guests, Elias and Jaxson. Right? Of course, this stuff, man. This stuff will never, ever end. So, of course, they go to perform a special unplugged version of Hey Hey Hop Hop. Or Hey Hey Ho Ho. I can't remember. I don't know the difference between the two. Of course, naturally, it's Elias performing. So lights go out, and out comes Damian Priest with his new buddies, The New Day. We have ourselves a 6-man match already scheduled, so I don't really understand why this had to happen. The match had already kind of been announced, you know? I don't know. So anyways, Xavier Woods comes down to the ring with a guitar case in his hand. Sets it on the apron, opens it up, and it's filled with tomatoes. So these dudes are just out here launching tomatoes at Jaxson, Ryker, Elias, The Miz, and John Morrison. Why? Why? Why is this a thing? Why does everything with them have to be so childish, man? I don't get it. I don't get it whatsoever. And this match was 28 minutes long, I believe I heard. 28 minutes long. And it ended with an inside cradle. Essentially a roll-up. A 28-minute match could not have a decisive finish. Man, after this, I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to watch this anymore. And then I saw Sonya Deville backstage, and I said, oh, I love Sonya Deville. What is she doing here on Raw? This is great. We've been asking to see Sonya Deville on both shows for a while, or just kind of split them up and have Adam and Pierce on one show and have Sonya Deville on the next one. I'm like, cool. What is she doing? He opens the door. The exhale of doom. The exhale of doom. He opens the door. Charlotte Flair walks in. The suspended Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair that was fined $100,000 last week. Just last week on Raw. Fined and suspended indefinitely for beating up a referee. Here, Sonya Deville is sneaking her into the venue like they're going to watch a movie together. You hate to see it, man. You hate to see it. What was the point of all of that? What was the point of the suspension? What was the point of her beating up the referee? What did that do for anyone? I don't get it. All of this stuff, it's so meaningless. It's so meaningless. And I don't get it. I don't get it. There's no story. What is being told here? There's nothing going on. There's literally nothing going on. It is so frustrating. So frustrating. Vance says if you don't want to get bored while watching Raw, get a drinking buddy. Oh, God, I would probably die. I would die of alcohol poisoning. No, relax. No one's sending you credit card information. And don't spam in my chat. I'll time you out. Anthony says they are wasting food, and the fact that they're doing something with Make-A-Wish, what a good example WWE is setting. Did I miss something else? Because I don't quite understand. Chloe says they tried taking her off TV because she said she needed dental surgery, but she didn't. Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Did she come back because she's like, fuck y'all, and I don't actually need anything, I'm going to be here anyways? Or that's not true? Or like, I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't get it whatsoever. I think that's like my like slogan for WWE is that just like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get anything that's going on. It doesn't make any sense to anyone with half a brain. Like, god damn, man. Leroy says, at this point, I'm just going to stop Raw altogether because I don't want Charlotte Flair on my TV getting everything she wants. It's crazy, dude. Like, I don't understand how they're so tone deaf. Like, they're so tone deaf. They're so out of touch with their audience that they have, like, no idea what's going on. At this point, they don't know what people want to watch. And you can't even use the pandemic as an excuse. Like, oh, you know, some people make the argument like, oh, well, they have the Thunderdome, so they can't tell what the fans' reactions are, yada, yada, yada. They were doing this kind of bad booking before anything even happened, pandemic-wise. Let's see here. Hold on. God damn YouTube chat thing. There we go. This stuff was going on before any of that ever happened. So it's not even an excuse, a valid excuse for anything. Plus, you have social media, right? Have you ever looked at a WWE post and looked at the comments? Jesus, they are not good, man. From Twitter to Instagram, like it is all bad, man. It is all bad. It is insane. Philip, welcome, my friend. How are you doing? How are you doing, my friend? I didn't see your comment about the Nexus, of course, but feel free to post it again. I'll look out for it. Chloe says, we need a shirt that says, I don't get it. That'd be a really good one, actually. That'd be funny. That'd be a good one for, like, when when I turn on my camera and you can have like a picture of my face on a t-shirt. Oh, that's kind of terrible. Maybe like a Sting face on a t-shirt and have like a frustrated Jackie Chan. You know what I mean? That meme from back in the day with just like I don't get it, because that's pretty much where I'm at. I just don't get it. Anthony says, I feel when fans come back, I pray that everything will get better. I hope so, man, because this company's going to be eaten alive if they do not. Because those live crowds are not going to be with the shits. That is for sure. Warriors has skipped Raw for the second week in a row. Next week is looking like a skip as well, which sucks because I want to see Bobby as champ, Drew, AJ, and Omos, but the show is unwatchable. Well, luckily for you as well, AJ and Omos have not been on the show for the past 3 weeks anyways, so you're not missing out on anything of that. Bobby Lashley hasn't really been on the show either. He wasn't on last week. He was briefly on this week, where he was just saying, acknowledge me as your WWE champion, pretty much. So you're not really missing out as much. Not really missing out on much. Elvis says they should have ended the Priest and Miz and Morrison feud by having Damian win the handicap match, the Raw after Mania, and then having him feud with someone else like Sheamus or Elias or Mustafa Ali. Sure, yeah. I agree, man. I think that would have been a decent way to end it too. Yeah, just like you were saying, you know. Bad Bunny gets the big win at WrestleMania. Now that Bad Bunny's gone, they're still talking trash. Damian Priest shuts him up. It is what it is. It's over. But that's not WWE. Ben says the last time I watched Raw was November 2020. That's crazy, dude. I'm jealous. I'm jealous because I don't want to watch Raw anymore. Delay says Bobby stole Roman's gimmick. I mean, that's what I got from it, essentially. Pretty much. So afterwards, after the debacle from the beginning of the show with Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre went to Adam and Pierce and said, look, bruh, I want to fight Braun Strowman tonight. And then Braun Strowman later did the same thing and said, look, if I win this match tonight, I want to get added to the WWE Championship match at WrestleMania Backlash. So Adam and Pierce, of course, said, okay, sure thing. So that happened. Next up, Sheamus came out for his open challenge once again, but of course this one was not for the United States Championship either. He said someone should come out and answer my call. Anyone. You already know who it was going to be. Of course, it was that no good, low life having criminal Humberto Carrillo once again coming out here to try to steal WWE gold for himself. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. And this time, he attacked. He didn't even let Sheamus take off his jacket. He was attacking him. It was like over his head. Mans couldn't see or anything. He could not defend himself. And Humberto Carrillo was beating him up. How unsportsmanlike. How criminal-like. This is putting the health and the well-being of Sheamus at risk. He couldn't even see where he was going. He couldn't protect himself from the blows that Humberto Carrillo was throwing towards his head. He could have easily tripped and fell. He could have broken his leg. He could have broken his ankle, or twisted his ankle. He could have hurt himself seriously tonight. All because Humberto Carrillo, just a criminal. An absolute criminal. It disgusts me. The WWE would let someone run amok in their company just like this for so long. Cannot believe it. Cannot. Leroy says, does Sheamus honestly think that he could just win the United States Championship and not defend it? Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, right. Anthony says, those jackets are not cheap, you know? Yeah, exactly, you know? And so now he's going to have it dry cleaned. He could have ripped his jacket. He could have torn some seams in it. So not only is Humberto Carrillo out here physically attacking someone on the roster, could you imagine if you were at work and you just started beating up someone that showed up? Your friend goes over to use the copy machine and you just start beating him up? They're not even taking their jacket off? Come on. Come on, I'm not with it. Why did I ban you? I didn't ban you. I timed you out because you're asking people for their credit card information and borrowing their TVs. Not quite fitting in with chat. That's why. Philip. Oh yeah, my bad. My bad. Philip says Christian Cage, it's his hair is changed color. It was blonde. Now the problem plus for the Nexus return at WrestleMania Backlash. I don't know, man. I don't think so. I don't think the Nexus is gonna return. Chloe says your friend goes from lunch break and you jump them from behind. Exactly. So my poor innocent self. Here I am in my kitchen, unraveling a delicious turkey Lunchable. Have a little snack. And then the next thing you know, you're waking up on your kitchen floor. They've taken all the goodies, the crackers, the cheese, the turkey is gone. They just left you some shitty Oreo cookie, a lemon one. Just left it behind. On the floor, got dog hair all over it. Beat you up. Then you find out, you open up your phone, terrible pay-per-view predictions written in there. At the same time, wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Vance says, if WWE gets a t-shirt saying Raw sucks, it will be the highest selling merch in the history of the universe. That'd be crazy. I still wouldn't buy one because I know what they'd be doing. It'd be hilarious, that's for sure. Chloe says Humberto's girlfriend is literally harboring a fugitive. Yeah. She should go down for his crimes as well. Even though I would assume someone that looks like that, those little girly muscles. You think he has a girlfriend? Probably not. Brendan says, I know Roman's gimmick is family, but do you think Dakota Kai would fit in with the group? She's a bit of... I don't know. Probably not, but I could definitely see them adding in, like, Tamina or something like that. For sure. Riso, I think it's confirmed where Andrade is showing up first. Yeah. Where so, my friend? Is it Ring of Honor? Gonna be Ring of Honor. Let's see. So I'm gonna skip over all of this. Bobby Lashley, he pretty much says, acknowledge me as your WWE champion, and the crowd loves me. Vance says, frames dropping or my Wi-Fi slow? I believe it's your Wi-Fi at this point, because I'm at 0%. 0% drop frames. And it shows excellent connection as well at the moment. I don't know. It's all good on my end as of right now. I don't know. Maybe that will change though. Let's see. Randy Orton proposes that him and Matt Riddle do make RK Bro a thing. Reginald isn't the only simp for Big out here. Oh no, my sound effects don't work. Come on. Oh, it's because they're. Oh no. Hold on. I add my samples. I did all my stuff have to. Oh no, it is. It's all broken. Oh no. Okay, well, I don't know. My sounds are broken, so I can't say Big Oof. I can't say Big Oof. No. God damn it. Why did I delete that file? What did I do? What did I do with my life? Yeah, it's because the samples thing was on there too. Damn, man, this sucks. I'm gonna have to get this all sorted before tomorrow, before NXT. Philip says, can you do this in the microphone? We are one. I've done that. I've done that for you. Okay, so like I was saying, Reginald isn't the only simp out here for Big Oof. Enter Angel Garza as well. So that's gonna be cool, I guess. We're gonna see a feud between Reginald and Angel Garza, I would guess. Let's see. There's a new company called Federation Wrestling in Mexico, run by Rush and his boys. Their first show was in like May, featuring a lot of Ring of Honor talent and the Lucha Bros, and they showed him. Oh, cool. Well, that's good for him. That's good for him. I'm very excited to see where he is going to show up. Very excited. Jaxson says yes or no. Yes or no what? I'm gonna donate $50. Is that okay with you? Yeah, I dare you to. I dare you. Chloe says Angel tear away pants. Garza is the best. I miss Angel Garza. He's so great. He is so great. So RK Bro, I thought it was great. But I didn't think it was actually gonna work. I thought that Randy Orton was gonna be like, "You're a dumbass," and RKO him out of nowhere. But turns out, it was all good. It was all good. Randy Orton, Matt Riddle, they have a tag team match against Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, and they defeat them. They do pretty well. Everything looks good, so maybe RK Bro is actually something that is going to happen. I hope that it does. I hope that they stay together for a while. Randy has been involved in a couple of things that I think that could have went very well. FTRKO being one of them. I will always think that FTRKO will have been a huge missed opportunity from WWE. I do. I think that would have been huge. So it was always sad to not see that, but of course, having FTR in AEW has been a blessing as well. Of course, now they're with Pinnacle as well, so they're doing some big things. So RK Pro, hopefully it stays around for a while. Hopefully, I could see them having a tag team championship run as well. It's fun. It's fun. You have Matt Riddle, who's overly ridiculous and stupid, and then you have a serious asshole like Randy Orton. And Anthony says, "Man, I miss the Broserweight." So yeah, it's kind of like the same dynamic, right, between them. So I think that's great. I hope they hold on to this for a while. I really do. Reader True says, "So Randy's a face now?" Question mark. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess Randy's a face. He's a good guy. He's a good guy now. Van says, "Did Randy ask Riddle, which planet are you from?" Riddle, Earth. Randy, shut up. Yeah. That's great. Bosley says, "Hey, OW, how have you been? Your COVID all gone?" I believe so. I believe so. I think I have a cold right now, unfortunately, which is kind of why my voice sounds a little bit weird. But yeah, should be, we're kind of all better now. Doing good, doing good. Thank you. Anthony says, "What about the Hardy Bros? What happened to them?" Well, Matt Riddle got changed over to Raw, if I remember. Or no, that was on Raw. Yeah, that wasn't on SmackDown. I don't know. I don't know where Jeff Hardy is. I know that their father passed away, so maybe that is hard for him. Maybe he's having a hard time dealing with that. Other than that, I don't know. I haven't seen anything. Delight says, "Off topic, but why do people hate Kenny Omega so much? He's one of the best to ever do it." All because they're not wrestling fans and they're WWE fans, which there's a huge difference between them. And there's nothing wrong with being a WWE fan. You can be a WWE fan. I've been a WWE fan for a very long time. In fact, I think I've told you guys plenty of times that back in the day, I wouldn't watch WCW. I was a WWF guy. I was like, man, I'm not watching that shit. That stuff sucks. It's not even on the same level, right? So when I was younger, I had that mentality. So I kind of understand where people come from. It wasn't until later on when I started watching WCW and I flipped back between the two of them, that I realized that. And then, when I came back to watching wrestling and all of that, you have WWE, but then I've opened my eyes to so much other stuff as well, being it Impact, Ring of Honor, AEW, of course, even NXT. Evolve has been on that list of things that I've checked out. Bloodsport, kind of different, but there's a lot of other options of things that you can tune in and watch. So nothing wrong with people being a WWE fan, but if you're a wrestling fan, different. It's all different. Kevin says, I saw your post about Omega and Young Bucks almost being in WWE. Just imagine the Elite versus Undisputed Era, New Day, or the Shield. Would have been crazy. Would have been crazy. Someday, maybe it'll still happen. Chloe says, get Randy a Viper style scooter that sprays venom and I'll die happy. Oh, God. God. Jaxson says, AOW all time, Kenny or Roman? It depends on what you're talking about. Wrestler? Kenny Omega, for sure. Star power? Roman Reigns, right now. Easily. Not even a question. Warrior says, people hate Kenny because they're most likely Jim Cornette fanboys, which Jim very often shits on Kenny. Yeah. I mean, I see there's a lot of toxic people in the world. I find that, in my comments alone. There's I don't know. I've never been the type of person that if you don't like someone that you harass them or you're constantly checking up to see what they're doing and stuff like that. For me, I don't ever put weight on what someone says about something. I like to have my own opinion about things. So like I say this all the time for people who get mad at Dave Meltzer's star ratings matches. Who cares? Who cares what Dave Meltzer rates a match, right? I mean, if you agree with him, cool. You agree with him. But if you don't, and you think a match was worse, or you think a match was better, like, that's cool, right? That's your opinion. And you're entitled to that opinion. This is a pretty subjective thing that we're talking about here. So I've never understood the weight of people's opinions that people just hold on to and latch on to. Like, people even get mad at me. I'm nobody. I'm just a dude on the internet. I'm not Jim Cornette. I'm not Dave Meltzer. Like, I don't understand why people get so mad at what I say. Like, even today on Twitter, there was a bunch of nerds getting mad about me saying that The Fiend was dead. Sorry, I would do my ding dong hello, but I can't. The Fiend is dead. All right, whether you like it or not. Leon says, "Hey OW, how you doing? I'm good, man. How are you doing?" Philip says, "Good night. The Nexus pictures tomorrow." Sure. Yeah, I need to get all my stuff figured out, man. Yeah, I'll give you a Nexus picture tomorrow if you're there for NXT. Delight says, "Can't wait for Kenny to take the WWE Championship off of Braun Strowman." Oh God, that'd be crazy. Vance says, "Hey, that's not true. You were getting paid $50,000 for calling Raw trash." I think there's some people that actually believe that. Oh God. I just realized almost all the big champions have managers now. Roman, Bobby, Kenny. Yeah. I like how Kenny for 3 companies. Yeah. Vance says, AOW, got to go see you tomorrow. Thank you, man, for tuning in. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here in a couple minutes as well because we're going over. Next up, we had a women's 6-women tag team match. We had Big Oof, Shayna Baszler, and Rhea Ripley taking on Lana, Naomi, and Asuka. I thought for sure that the team with all the championships was going to be taking the L. I thought that was pretty obvious. I thought they were going to hand the L to Shayna Baszler. I was actually kind of surprised to see them win. Not surprised to see Lana take the L on that one, but shocked to see them win. I was not shocked to see an interference from Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. They came out, splashed a bucket of water on Shayna Baszler, of course, of all people. And then, of course, Big Oof came over and slipped in it. Like, oh my God. Okay. And Darby, don't forget Darby. Yeah, Darby has a manager. Where he says all Brains champs have managers. Roman has Paul, Bobby has MVP, Cross has Scarlett. Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, you are not wrong. Have a good night, Jaxson. Have a good night. Ayan says what they can do is at WrestleMania Backlash, Braun can take the pin, and Bobby retain, and at Money in the Bank, Drew versus Bobby, and they can extend it till SummerSlam. I don't want to see Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley wrestle again, though. Like, I'm so over it. They need to make new people come in and have matches. Like, we need fresh things. We need a better main event. We've had the same main event scene forever now. It's just always the same thing. And SmackDown's even looking like the same thing. Big E versus Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental Championship. How many times have we seen that? Like 8 times? And then we have Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan again for the Universal Championship. Of course, this time, if Daniel Bryan loses, he's out of SmackDown. But, like, damn. Obi James says, gotta head out. AEW, have a good night. Feel better. Thank you, man. You too. Or you have a good night, of course. Thank you. I appreciate that. Delight says WWE books the same match 20 times and calls it long-term storytelling. Yeah. And people, like, clamor onto that with their lives. And yet, every time someone's like, oh, you're just a dumbass, it's long-term storytelling, I say, oh, really? What's the story? No response. There's never a response. There's never a story. They can't ever tell you. Because there isn't one. There isn't one, damn it. Travis says, we're in a dire need of a shakeup or summer draft. We are, 100%. WWE Emoji says, when WWE does something new, does it get old quickly? The reason why is because when they do that new thing, they continue to do it over and over and over and over again. It's like sometimes they'll try something new or they'll change something a little bit and they'll realize that people like it and then they'll just run it back. During the pandemic, early on, they had a match. I believe it was during this time. Or was it before? I don't know. There was a period of time where one time they randomly put Andrade versus Rey Mysterio. The guys went out there and killed it. And I swear to God, I think they wrestled for like the next 6 episodes straight. For over a month, they wrestled. So when they do these new things, they always just continue to do them over and over and over and over. There was a time when the distraction finishes was like the entire show. Roll-ups, the entire show. Disqualifications, the entire show. Like all of these things, they're not really just new. They just do them over and over and over and over and over again. And that's why everything is so frustrating to me. Anthony says, AOW, it's just like eating something new. It tastes good, and then they eat it for a month. Yeah, essentially. Pretty much. They're like, damn, that was really good. I'm going to eat it for 2 months, and then I'm going to be disgusted with it because I've had so much. Elver says, since Aleister Black is back, I hope WWE uses him right this time and pushes him as a serious contender and letting him show the potential he has to be in the main event picture. Yeah, me too. I'm very curious to see who he is going to feud against. Very interested. Hopefully it's a good one. And hopefully they don't do this whole like in the back room type shit for a very long time, because that other stuff where it was like, knock on my door. Someone needs to come knock on my door. Why isn't anyone at my door? Like that stuff, it was just so drawn out. Like I'm so tired of all of these drawn out things. Like the come knock on my door thing is cool for like 2 or 3 weeks. Then have someone knock on it. Don't do it for 3 or 4 months and then have someone knock on it. And then by that time, I think it was Cesaro, and everyone's like, damn, this is going to be great. And then it was just like, okay, no one cares because we've seen this for 5 months. Warrior says WWE loves running shit into the ground. Just look at Mandy slipping at Mania. They made it into a legit feud. Yeah. Nia Jax Big Oof is slipping every single time we see her. Every time. It's like, damn, just let it go, man. Just let it go. They had Big Oof put Lana through a table for like 9 weeks straight. People had the nerve to say that that was storytelling. Putting someone through a table 9 times is not a story. There's no story involved. That's just someone putting someone through a table for 9 weeks. God. Eon says, off topic, what is the most shocking thing you've ever watched in WWE while watching live? WWE, I don't know. I don't know, but I can tell you in wrestling in general, shocking thing that I've ever watched live was at Double or Nothing, AEW Double or Nothing. The first one was Cody Rhodes versus Dustin Rhodes, and Dustin Rhodes was busted open. Man's literally bleeding everywhere. My fiance and I were probably about 5 rows back or so from the barricade. And I will never forget, there was a part where they were over in a corner closer to us. And I believe Dustin was like on all fours. And literally, you could just see blood pouring out of his head. It was disgusting. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like, it literally looked like they had like a pitcher of like red Kool-Aid on the other side of his head, and they were just dumping it out. It was so gross. But I will never forget that. I will never forget it. Even seeing them when they were on the outside on the padding stuff, because we were so close, you could literally just see the blood like pooling up on the padding. You could just see it dripping down his face. Like, it was so disgusting. So that right there, it will be something that I will remember forever because of how gross and crazy and cool it was all at the same time. Miguel says, so tonight they throwed a bunch of tomatoes. So next week they're gonna come out and throw some Starbucks coffee and Nia slips on it. Pretty much, probably. Chloe says there were rumors they were gonna redo the Aleister Black versus Murphy feud, and I don't want it. I mean, Murphy's great. It would be nice to see him on TV, but I don't want to see that again. And you know, like, I think Aleister Black needs to beat a couple people fairly quick. I wouldn't say like a typical WWE squash match, but maybe like 4 or 5 minutes, couple matches, where he just does someone like Akira Tozawa or something like that. And then works up to a match like a 15-minute banger with Murphy or something, a 15-minute banger with Shinsuke Nakamura, 15-minute banger with Cesaro or something like that. You know, I think that'd be great. WWE Emoji says it's only funny once. Consider it not quite evil enough. NXT Dynamite and SmackDown would be very evil. Interesting way to compare that. Jan says, okay, I'm honestly telling your voice is very different tonight. Yes, I'm congested. My nose is plugged. Part of the problem. And this is also my voice unfiltered. So I broke all of my settings for literally everything. And so there's like no equalizer things set up for my voice. So the bass is at 0, the treble's at 0, and the mid at as well. Yeah, I think I had the treble turned up quite a bit. But I'll have to listen to this one back and see what it sounds like. Maybe I'll just leave it. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Trevin says Black versus Nakamura would be good, but I'm tired of seeing Nakamura lose. Yeah, it does. It sucks. Sucks. Anthony says, what about that time Nia broke Becky's nose? I wasn't there for that. Wasn't actually there for that in person. But that's an iconic moment. I don't think anyone will ever forget that picture or that visual of Becky Lynch standing in the crowd with her arms wide open, not knowing what the hell is going on. It's crazy. James, I did not miss your comment. The Dr. Evil one, I read that. Chloe says Black vs. Nakamura would be gold. 2 of the best strikers in WWE. Going at it would be amazing. Would. I love Nakamura so much as well. I wish that he would be booked better. WWE, it's a shame. Elver says I'd love for Daniel Bryan to face Aleister Black and Apollo Crews before he retires as a full timer. That'd be great, but it seems that Daniel Bryan will be on SmackDown no more after next week, I would guess. I certainly don't see him winning the Universal Championship on a random episode of SmackDown. Delight says, I know you missed my comment, and I'm not even mad. Did I? I did. Botches are now kayfabe in the Fed. Yes. Yes. You are right. What if Daniel goes to NXT? That's what I hope the case is. What I hope. So next up on the show was the Alexis Playground thing. We talked about that for like the first 25 minutes. So I'm not gonna go into that one anymore. Just know that the Fiend is dead. Okay. He's gone. Next up was our main event match, Drew McIntyre versus Braun Strowman. I didn't watch this match at all. I don't care. I do know that Bobby Lashley and MVP got involved because, of course, they did not want Braun Strowman to win. If Drew McIntyre were to win this match, WrestleMania Backlash would still be Bobby Lashley defending his WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre. So, they interfere, and Drew McIntyre isn't able to capitalize enough and get the win. T-Bar and Mace end up interfering against McIntyre, and Braun Strowman is able to capitalize off of that one, and he wins. He wins. So this means that at WrestleMania Backlash, Bobby Lashley will now be defending his WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman in a triple threat. I don't think anyone really cares. Although, this does kind of, perhaps, in a way, change some things. Now I feel like Drew McIntyre could retain. Or not retain, but get his championship back. Now I feel like I don't know. Braun Strowman was added for a reason. Had to have been. So it's either that Bobby Lashley beats Braun Strowman and they go, well, Bobby Lashley never beat me, McIntyre, so I should get another shot at the next pay-per-view. Not sure, that's WWE. Or Drew McIntyre beats Braun Strowman, becomes the new WWE champion, and then you have kind of the opposite thing where Bobby Lashley is like, look, he didn't beat me. I didn't lose my WWE championship. Braun Strowman did. Now I want another match at the pay-per-view. The exhale of doom. Bob says, your voice sounds a bit different. Are you good? Yes. So, long story short, I deleted all my settings. This is my voice, raw, with no effects added to it. Usually I add treble and a little bit of mid, and I think I took away some of the bass as well. Very low, lots of low. And the Shure SM7B is like very good at picking up lows as well. And I am congested. I'm still a little sick. I feel like I have a cold. So my voice is a little bit altered there as well. So lots going on. Anthony says, starting to get used to your voice. I'll probably have it for like the next day or two. I'd imagine. Hopefully it'll get better. I'm feeling better every single day at least. But, you know. Let's see here. Albert says if they wanted Drew to win, they would have put the title on him at Mania instead of the Thunderdome again. So I hope Bobby retains. That is a good way to look at it. That is a good point. Not sure. You might be right. Or, maybe they were just like, oh, maybe they'll try to stick it through SummerSlam and give him the championship there. I don't know. I hope that they are holding out and we'll get Bobby versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam or whatever. Like, that's what I want to see. The WWE Championship. That's the match I want to see. James says 6-sided ring for AOW Underground. No, 4. 4-sided ring. Jan says AOW. Honestly, I think SmackDown is doing pretty good job. Their match quality are good and main event is worthy to watch, not like Raw. Yeah, I mean, I have my gripes about SmackDown as well, especially about the upcoming one that I'm going to be watching because it has 2 matches that we've already seen, but I'm sure they'll be pretty good. All right, that's going to do it for me. It's been an hour and a half here. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. I got to fix this stuff, man. I done broke everything. Like, I don't know how I do know how I did it, but I just can't believe that it deleted all my stuff. It's crazy. So I got to fix all of this madness. The soundboard is broken. I don't even know how to fix it. I don't know what the problem is. So that's going to be interesting. And I don't have anything except this. I broke all of the video things as well. All I have is the money at the moment. It's a little, on my stream deck. The only thing I have is a button that says money on it. I'll blank the rest of it. Everything is gone. Everything is deleted. It's crazy. So anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It's been a great hour and a half. It's great to be back. It's great to feel better, of course, because that shit sucked. And hopefully I'm on the road to being healthy. And hopefully my second vaccine shot doesn't make me really sick either. That's on the 13th. So if it does, I'll let you know, and I probably won't do that SmackDown the following day if it does make me sick, but we'll get there when we get there. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you have a great rest of your night, and I will see you all here tomorrow for the Tuesday night NXT post show. Have a good rest of your night. Remember the Hangman fucks, and also that AJ rocks. AJ rocks. AJ rocks. AJ rocks.